Have you ever wondered why everyone is obsessed with Europe? What is it about this place that has everyone so fascinated that it's almost a rite of passage to spend a summer backpacking all over it, or to spend thousands of dollars touring its great capitals? Why Europe? Why is it so important to us? I want to know the story. Don't you? Have you ever gazed at pictures of the ancient standing stones of Stonehenge and wondered about the people who erected them thousands of years ago and what they mean and how they relate to you? Maybe you've marveled at the primeval forests of Germany and Poland and imagined the creatures and the cultures that once inhabited them. If any of this sounds as appealing to you as it does to me, then join me on a journey through the history of Europe. From the ruins of ancient Greece and Rome, to the Gothic cathedrals of France and Spain, from the royal palaces of Austria and England to the vibrant streets of Berlin and Amsterdam, we'll uncover the stories and the secrets that make Europe such a fascinating and enchanting destination. This is going to be my personal travel odyssey across Europe as I chase its secrets. I want to see where the story will take us and what the history of Europe reveals about myself, a descendant of European immigrants to the United States, and about the world that we all live in today. I'm going to take you on an adventure through European history. This is going to be a multi-episode series here on my channel. This is my biggest project yet. Are you ready for this? Let's get started with episode 1. Siri, take me to Budapest. So this is Europe today. I'm standing here in one of my favorite European cities, Budapest, Hungary, here to begin this adventure. It looks like a pretty modern city, albeit with some fairy tale castles and churches in the background. But how did we get here? What's the story of the people, the art, the architecture, and the history? How did Europe, and by extension the West, become the dominant political and cultural force that it is today? And what did Europe look like and feel like along its path to this prominent position as a global center point? I want to start looking for answers to that question from the beginning. So where is the beginning? Some people start the history of Europe with Greece. Others start it with Rome. Some start it during the medieval times of Gothic cathedrals and the impending artistic renaissance waiting in the wings. I'm eventually going to take you through all of those epochs. But the story really doesn't start there. I want to take you all the way back. You see, European history didn't begin with the Gothic cathedral. It began right here, in forest cathedrals. My ancestors would have hunted and foraged and found shelter and comfort and mystery here in the woods. Central and Eastern Europe still have some of the best intact primal and old-growth forests. This particular forest, called Normafa, is just outside of Budapest, and although it's not completely untouched, it's not much different from the vast broadleaf forest that would have once blanketed most of continental Europe. But wait a second, this is an adventure channel. Let's back up and show you how my friend and I got here from the city of Budapest on a train run by kids, and how we almost saw a killer view along the way and what we got instead. Okay, so let's go find a quiet, peaceful place to enjoy the forest and talk a little bit about what this adventure is going to be on this channel and why European history is so exciting. So we got to the top of this huge hike, this beautiful tower, and you can't see anything. All you can see is the Hungarian flag. So why is Europe and European history and travel through Europe so exciting? I mean, there's castles, there's deep dark forests, there's some of the best museums in the world, probably the best museums in the world apart from New York City. There's royal families, different languages around every corner, mountains, valleys, lakes. But European history is also so interesting and so fascinating because it's the story of us. Me personally, it's the story of me. It's in my blood. It's in my body. It was my ancestors. But it's the story of all of us, even if you aren't from European descent, because from the ideas that gestated and came to fruition in Europe and spread to the West through the Americas and the United States, the entire world has been changed and affected. The ideas of trial by jury of your peers, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, the ideas of limited government that came to fruition with things like the Magna Carta and the protest against the Church of the Protestant Reformation. It's all here in Europe. Like, that's where these ideas come from. Martin Luther King, who is primarily not of European descent, is intellectually of European descent. His name is Martin Luther. He's named after the Protestant reformer, and he studied all these movements. He quoted John Donne, the British poet. Gandhi, who revolutionized the world and India, was a British law school student, and it could be argued that he was actually using the ideals that came from Britain and from Europe and trying to hold Britain and Europe up to its very own ideals. He manifested it probably better than we do most of the time. So Europe has affected everything, and that's why it's so exciting. The castles and the forests too. Alright, now I'm going to take you all the way back and I'm going to relive the experience of my European ancestors from tens of thousands of years ago. I am going to take everything off and eat only what I find in the woods and just run around for the next 3 days, sleeping in the trees or if I can find a cave. Starting right now, I hope you follow along. Bye. I mean, I'm not cold, but I'm just kidding. It's YouTube. Let's go back to the city so I can show you some Paleolithic tools and some of the amazing artifacts in the natural history museums, because that's where we're going to find the pieces of history that are still in existence. Ever since I've taken my first art history course, I've wanted to see the very first piece of European art. And I've known it's here in Vienna at the Naturhistoriches Museum. It's a tiny little figurine that, for all I know, could have been sculpted by one of my ancestors here in the center of Europe. So let's go take a look at these fantastic collections inside the Naturhistorisches Museum, the Natural History Museum in Vienna, Austria. Early Europeans would have fought with, eaten, and made homes and clothes and sometimes even sculptures out of the large relatives of the elephant that you see here, the woolly mammoth. In fact, we pretty much made them extinct through overhunting, but the robe sure was nice and warm. The environment of the forests of Europe was nothing like what it is today because it would have been full of herds of forest bison. I was thrilled to find this exhibit in the Naturhistorisches Museum in Vienna, which shows us actual bison recreated from their fossils and remains in their actual forest habitat. The star of this trip and of this episode is a little statue that you're about to see. I've wanted to see this little statue ever since my first world history class. I remember seeing it right there in the book as an example of one of the first pieces of art, one of the first signs of civilization. Art is the beginning of European history. Okay, so you're about to see a statue of Venus. Venus de Milo? No. Way before that. This is the Venus of Willendorf, and I came all the way to Vienna pretty much just to see this. Never seen it before, so first impressions. Oh, it's bigger than I thought. They said it was 11 centimeters, and being American, I don't know centimeters. Oh, wow. I don't know centimeters as well, so I thought it was going to be more like the size of my thumb, but she's bigger than that. Wow, they did a great job displaying her. Look at the light. So this is one of the first sculptures in European art. At the time, it was the earliest known representation of a human that was ever found. It was found here in Austria. That's why it's in this museum. This is from between 25,000 and 30,000 years ago. And she has a hairstyle, an elaborate hairstyle. And I think the lighting is really good because it would have had like almost a reddish paint or tint to it that they would have put over it. And it's made of limestone. So this is what we came to see. This is pre-Atkins, pre-keto. Wow, that was an epic start! It's getting dark now, so I'm gonna wind this up for today. My goal with this series is to have fun exploring Europe and teasing out the story of its history with you. I want to see how it relates to me as a European American, and to see how it can relate to you no matter where you are in the world, because the story of Europe is inseparable from the story of the world as it is today. I'm on a journey to make my crazy digital nomad dream come true, and I hope I can inspire you to come along and see where this all takes me. Be sure to join on the next video where I give you a crash course in human prehistory by visiting 2 of the best natural history museums in all of Europe, followed by a trip to the superstar of all prehistoric sites, Stonehenge. Be sure to click like and subscribe so you won't miss out when the next video comes out, and connect with me anytime in the comment section. Let me know what you liked, where I should go next, and what you thought of some of these sites. Were they tourist traps or hidden gems? From forest to factory, the history of Europe continues in the next episode. I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me. I'll leave you with a view of the sunset over this Gothic cathedral in Budapest, Hungary.